Why is change so hard? Why do we keep repeating the same patterns even when we truly want something different? The truth is, you're not broken and you're not lacking willpower. You are navigating generations of conditioning, subconscious programming, and a process of transformation that takes time to show up in your external reality. We've got a lot to talk about. Hello everyone, this is Kevlan, and in today's video I wanted to talk about change and transformation, and in particular, why is it so hard, why is it so difficult for us as human beings to change, to embrace the change, to transform. And when I say change, it's basically change yourself, change your life. Why is it so hard? And no matter what it means to you, whether you want to change your belief, whether you want to change your mindset, whether you want to change your habits, whether you want to change something else that is preventing you, holding you back in the life you're currently experiencing, and you want to level up. And change is really what I call the balance, is really how life can perpetuate itself. So change should be what we should go after every single day, every single time. We as human beings, we're not here to stagnate. We're not here to stay in our comfort zone. We're here to change. We're here to evolve. We're here to grow. And there's no growth without change. So we need to embrace that change, but because it's so difficult that a lot of people would rather stay where they are right now because change is hard until they face a disease or a crisis that will give them the strength. Because when you leave a crisis, wherever they are becomes so unbearable and easier, and the change becomes easier to embrace. So now they will have the strength to change. But again, no change will lead you to suffering. So change is really the balance, is really, the door of evolution. We have to go through that. We have to embrace it, no matter and regardless how hard it is. So now to start, I want to talk about the first reason why I think change is very hard to embrace and why change is so hard and difficult for us to go through. And is really about, we need to overcome basically the default mode. You've been living in a certain mindset, you've been living with a certain belief, with a certain fear. For how long have you been carrying that fear? Years? Decades? It's probably more than that. It's probably generations, because the way you live your life and the way, the belief that you have right now about yourself, the fear that you have right now about yourself, the way you are as a person has been influenced by the way the previous your family tree or the previous generations have lived their life. All of this is transferred from generations to generations. That's how we perpetuate the story we've been taught about ourselves. So if your parents struggle with a certain aspect and they never did anything about it, then guess what? This struggle will be passed on to their kids, maybe yourself. And now you inherit something that didn't belong to you initially, but then you're going to have this program, and then the way you're going to live your life is probably going to amplify the program that has been transferred, that has been given by your parents. Even when you look at our genes, when we look at the DNA, scientists today say that we carry genes of up to 7 and 10 generations before us. So it means the way your parents live their life will influences the way you live your life. The way your grandparents live their life and the belief they had about themselves influence the way you believe you have about yourself. The way your great-grandparents, and so on and so forth, until to 7 to 10 generations. So how can change be not difficult when we have to go against generations of programming? So you're not going against decades of programming. You're not going against the story you've been told by yourself. Most likely you're going against generations of programming. You're going against the way your parents live their life, the way their grandparents live their life, and so on and so forth. So obviously now when you decide to come and be the change and embrace that change, you have to face generations of programming. So it's just not going to be easy. If you think about, how to ride a bike, you've learned and you're riding a bike in a certain way. Now you decide to go and ride the bike in a different way. Do you think it's going to be easy to go against the way or the habits and the way you've been riding your bike for years? No, it's going to be difficult. So that's the reason why change can be very, very difficult, is because we are going against generations of programming. So it's not only your life, you're going to be healing your entire family tree. So that's why I said, when you heal yourself, you heal your ancestors, And is it hard? Of course, absolutely. And again, when I look at my life, I also went through very, very difficult times with changing a certain aspect of myself, a certain story. For a very, very long time, I didn't accept myself the way I was. I didn't like to speak my truth. I was afraid. I wanted to hide. I didn't like my body. I didn't like the way I looked for a very, very long time. And as a result of this, I was playing small. I was hiding. That was a program that was keeping me in that loop. But one day when I decided to face this, of course, it was hard. It was very, very hard. Because again, I was not going against just my own life and all the events that may have amplified the feeling about the stories that I had about myself, but also my family tree, my entire family tree, and how they lived their life and how they looked at themselves. So I had to embrace all of this. So what I could say is, for that first aspect is, yes, it's hard, but at the same time, it's the most rewarding things you can do, because again, I said, change is the balance. Change is life. Change is growth. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve at the soul level. And I can assure you something. It's very rewarding, because on the other side, you know what there is? There is freedom. There is freedom that you've never experienced before. When you're able to transcend that, whatever it is you're trying to transcend, there is freedom. The best feeling you can have, because now you're going to be aligned with your soul. And nothing is going to prevent you to become and to be and shine the way your soul wanted you to shine. So there is freedom. So it's so rewarding. When I experienced that freedom many times, I looked at myself and I said, all of this struggle for this, it's so worth it. Give me some more. Give me some more, because I want to feel even more free. So give me some more. I feel more ready now to face whatever it is, whatever is in the way of that feeling every single day. Another thing is, you came here to break the cycle. You came here to break the status quo. Perhaps previous generations, they perpetuated that fear, that belief, that state of being and now you came here and you decided to break that cycle. You were brave. You decided to be that brave soul, because it requires courage. It requires tremendous strength and willpower to go through this. How many times did I want to throw the towel? I can't even count them. Many, many, many times I went through depressions and I went through all of these feelings, because it's so hard. But it means also you are so brave. You are one of the most courageous and brave souls you can have. And you are actually changing your entire story, your entire family tree story. And you're not only healing yourself, you're healing your ancestors, you're healing your past, but you're also healing your future. Your kids won't have to do the work you're doing. You are healing them by healing yourself. And how beautiful is that? We here as human beings, and we want to be of service. But the best service you can do is being a service to yourself by healing yourself. Because by healing yourself, you're going to be helping your entire family tree. You're going to be helping the future generations that will be coming after you. Number two, the second reason why is it so hard for us to change as human beings is because the subconscious mind is driving the show. You may have heard about the conscious and subconscious mind. We have those two minds. But what neuroscience says is that 90 to 95% of who you are today is driven by the subconscious. You're basically driven by a set of program that is running in your subconscious mind. So obviously, how cannot change be difficult when most of it is unconscious? We need to, this is where, we need to start raising our awareness about ourselves. And that's a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a process, it's a journey, and that's really what I said, increasing awareness. And the more you increase awareness about yourself, the more you're going to uncover more about yourself. You're going to be uncovering more and more about the subconscious programs that have been running in the background. And sometimes, when I was facing my greatest fear, my greatest, the belief that was my most limiting belief about myself that was preventing me from becoming who I wanted to be or who I was meant to be. As I was raising my level of mindfulness, of awareness about myself, and I was trying to pinpoint, layers that was, I thought, the reason for why I had this belief. And then I realized once I was facing one layer and I was hitting one layer, the root cause was not this layer. It was even going deeper than that. And if you are trying to overcome something that, comes from your entire family tree, then let me tell you that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and it's going to be not one shot. It's going to be layers after layers after layers after layers until you go all the way to the root cause of it, and you're able to once and for all change that and then you're going to start experiencing that freedom. So obviously, the more you increase, that level of awareness about yourself, the more you're going to be able to go deeper and deeper in the subconscious mind and go into deeper and deeper into the different layers that have been building on top of each other for a very long time. So, what you can do now for that specific aspect is, one, practice more mindfulness, trying to increase that level of consciousness, because it's going to accelerate. As you raise your level of consciousness by yourself, it's going to accelerate, and you're going to be uncovering more and more about your subconscious programs that are running the show in the background. Because again, 90 to 95% of who you are today is run by subconscious program. So raising the level of awareness with practicing mindfulness is one of the way you want to accelerate that change. And one of the best way to practice mindfulness is observing your life. If you remember, if you watch one of that last video, I was talking about our inner world, or our external world. Your life is a reflection of your inner world. So if there is something you want to uncover by your subconscious mind, is being the observer. Look at your life, observe your life, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're going through right now, is going to give you an indication on the programs, on the things that are still running in the background of your subconsciousness that you need to heal. And again, surrender to that process, because you're one of the bravest soul. If you're on that path, let me tell you that you're one of the bravest souls. So accept who you are, no matter where you are today. Accept it. It took me so long for me to accept myself. So long. And my transformation could have been faster if I was able to accept myself, but I wasn't ready. I still had to go deeper and deeper and remove those layers that was still preventing me from accepting myself. So, work on surrendering, letting go, and wherever you are today, you are exactly where you need to be, and you're on a journey. As soon as you step into this change, this transformation journey, this journey of evolution, then you have nothing to worry about, because life is going to take you where you need to be in time. And so embrace the process and surrender to it, and I'm sure you're going to be okay. Finally, I wanted to talk about the third reason why is it so hard for us to change, and it's because there is a lag between the inner world and the external world. And what do I mean by that? If you remember, in one of my previous videos, I said that the mind is a projector of a reality, but the projection goes through a filter. And the filter is our state of being. So that's your inner world. Basically, who you are consciously and unconsciously, that's the filter. And based on that filter, your life is going to be a projection of that filter. So your life is going to be projected based on the filter, based on who you are. So how you think, whatever you believe in, based on how you feel, and so on and so forth. So everything that basically make up who you are. And again, conscious and unconscious, but most likely, as I said, 90 to 95% of the filter is unconscious. So that's the inner world. And the outer world is basically your life, the reflection, whatever you're currently experiencing. So what I wanted to show you here is like when we are not changing, when we are in that process of stagnation, basically you have your state of being. Your state of being is going to create something, it's going to create your life. And based on the life, is going to reinforce how you feel about yourself. And then you're going to be stuck in that loop. And obviously breaking that loop is what we call change. It's very hard to break that loop. And on top of the reason I explained, there is another reason is what I call there's a lag. Because when you change yourself, the reflection is not going to be right away. Whatever you're currently experiencing in your life is based on your past self. It's not based on your current self. It's based on your past self. There is a delay between who you are and whatever you see outside of you. That's why we always say manifestation is not instantaneous in this reality. There is a delay. There is a gap. There is a lag. And because there is a lag, sometimes it feels very hard to change because we start to change, but then we look outside of us and we still attract the same thing, we still have the same life, we still attract the same situations. And then it's going to make us feel like, oh, I'm trying to change, but it's not working, obviously. But you're just going to be stuck in that loop because you have a hard time to really transcend whatever you're experiencing. And here I wanted to show you what I call the spiral of change, because change is a spiral. We're going through that spiral of change, and that's the evolution, the evolutionary path of human beings. So basically, what's the spiral of change? The spiral of change is you have your state of being. Your state of being is going to create your life, as I explained many times. But now, you're going to be transcending whatever you're currently seeing into your life, and you say, you know what? My external life, because my external life is based on my past self, I'm going to transcend it, and I'm going to be greater than it, and I'm going to change myself no matter what. I'm just going to change myself. So I'm going to change my belief. I'm going to heal myself, and when you're going to heal yourself, it's just going to be based on the same life, because again there is a lag. Your state of being then create a life. But then, that's what change is. Change is becoming greater than your environment, becoming greater than your current external circumstances, because you know that your external circumstances are actually based on the old self, but not on the current self. So it doesn't matter whatever you were experiencing in your life right now. You say, you know what, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be greater than this, and I'm going to be reacting differently. You're going to have the same experiences, but you're going to be reacting differently on the same situation that your old self has created. And that's when you start changing, because now, even though you still have the same life, you're starting to change yourself. You're starting to change how you feel about it. You're starting to change how you react to life. And as you do this, and you're convinced, and you stay in that, and you maintain that state of being, now you're sending a signal to life and say, I am ready. Because now I have outgrown whatever you gave me, whatever life is around me. I have outgrown it, because now I'm not reacting to it anymore. I don't get challenged anymore by it. I was able to transcend it. So now you're in that new state. And what's going to happen? Now you're going to create a new life. That's the spiral of change. You're going to create this new life, because now you are maintaining that state, and now the old self is this new state, and you're gonna create this new life, and this spiral of change never stop. You have this new life, and then you want to level up again. You want to become and going closer and closer to who you really are inside of you. So you're gonna continue to transcend yourself, transcend your life by changing yourself, no matter what is outside of you, and that's the difficulty. The difficulty for us as human beings is we always need external validation for something we're starting to change within us. But you will never get external validation based on the old story, because whatever is happening outside of you is based on who you were. Because there is a lag, again, there is a lag in manifestation between who you are and whatever you see outside of you. There is a lag. So now if you start to change inside of you, you're still going to see the same thing outside of you. But you're going to be greater than it. You're going to be greater than it. And now your life is not going to affect you how you feel about yourself. And you're going to be able to maintain that state of being. And now there is no other way, but now you're going to manifest this new outcome, this new life. based on that new state of being you're able to maintain. And then you continue that process, because again, change is a process, but that's why it's hard, because we always need, and I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt when I started my journey, and I was facing certain things and I thought I was changing myself. I was still manifesting the same thing outside of me, and I thought, oh, it's not working. It's not working. I'm changing myself. I believe, it's not even I believe, I know all of this stuff, but it's not working. My life is not showing it to me, because I thought I changed, but externally there's still the same situation. So then that's when you want to throw the towel and like it doesn't work. But you truly change when you know that the outside of you does not affect you anymore. That's when you truly change. That's when you know that you have changed. Before that, if you still need this external validation, then you're on your way to change, but you haven't fully embraced the change yet. So I wanted to show you that spiral of change and why is it so difficult. So it's really, you need to understand this, and now you need to really acknowledge the fact that whatever is happening into your life is really based on your old self and not your new self. And if you're able to keep that state of being you want to embody from now on, I can assure you your life is going to change. There is no other way. If this content resonated with you, or if you learned something today about change and is going to help you to embrace it more and more, like the video, share it with your friends and family, or whoever needs to see this message, whoever is struggling with change, or whoever needs to get more insight on what they can do and to get more knowledge on what they can do to facilitate the change and the transformation to the next level, or align themselves with whatever life they're trying to manifest. Also, I would love to hear from you, and I would love to hear whatever you've been able to overcome, whatever change you've done, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you are right now in your journey. I would love to hear from you. So share with the community whatever you're trying to change, and I will respond to all the comments. Finally, if you don't know where to start, you want to change something, you want to change your belief, you want to change something in your life, your state of being, you want to change your life, but you don't know where to start, I've created a free resource, a self-awareness starter guide that you can download for free. There is a link in the description down below, as well as a link to my 21-day transformation program, Becoming You, that really gives you a framework to go through that change and embrace it, and so that you can finally live whatever life you are meant to live. For now, stay conscious, stay aware. Until next time.